Hey, I'm your host, Sydney B, and thank you for tuning in to this CW50 Web exclusive. The only thing worse than starting something and failing is not starting something at all. Here to tell us about the success of the clothing brand Raw Impact is Wesley Amika III, Manager of Operations. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Sydney.
You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about the brand Raw Impact.
Okay. Well, Raw Impact was started in 2011 by my CEO, Andre Ricks. He was actually in NBA lockout with the New York Knicks, and he had a nice key conversation with Spike Lee, which inspired him to start a clothing brand, well, actually a store, which it eventually became Raw Impact, the brand, when he started making shirts, and it became popular in the Kalamazoo area as well as the Detroit area.
Wow. So what is the meaning exactly behind the logo?
Well, we actually just figured that out because a student at Western Michigan University actually did the logo, but now we started to understand what it meant. So it gained significance as we, as we worked and as we went through our, daily grind with Raw Impact. So now we know that we want to make a positive impact on society, youth specifically, because youth is that's our future, So we want to make a positive impact on just society as a whole.
And so far, how have you made an impact on Detroit?
On Detroit, my CEO, Andre Ricks, he played for Western Michigan University. He was a very good player. And like I said, he's trained, did player development for NBA players all over the NBA. And as far as Detroit, he was actually Detroit Michigan Man of the Year, along with Benny Napoleon, the police chief. And we sponsored Summer Jams last year, which is, one of the biggest urban concerts in Detroit. So, we've done a lot as far as Detroit as well as Kalamazoo. We've done plenty of community service in Kalamazoo as well.
And tell me exactly, as the manager of operations, what do you do?
I do a lot. I do everything. Actually, my CEO, when he brought me on board, there were a lot of holes in in Raw Impact, and I brought it a long way. There have been people that have worked for Raw Impact that we had to, stop working with, but I'm steadfast, So I've done graphic design. I've designed logos. I've done PR work. We've been on business trips, Atlanta, New York, Vegas. You name it. So I do everything right now.
And prior to actually becoming the manager of operations, why did you get involved with the brand?
Well, Andre, it was one of his very good friends actually, and which was my very good friend from high school. Actually, an organization called DECA that I was involved in. It's a student marketing organization. We did events. I worked in a school store. And I gained a relationship with a lot of great people and a lot of great minds. And she actually introduced me and Andre. And I was actually riding in my car 11 o'clock at night, and I got a phone call asking, did I want to work? And it was a dream come true to me, because I've always wanted to be involved in fashion, and I've always been around business. I like business. I always knew. People told me that I would be great. So that's been drilled into my mind my whole life. So I have a lot of things to fulfill and a lot of people to take care of. So.
Okay, now tell me a little bit about your fashions. Describe them to me. I know that there's this shark logo, but give me a little bit more insight about your clothing.
Okay. Well, as far as clothing, period, I believe in quality. And one of the best things about Raw Impact is that it actually feels good. People tell me they don't even know what it is. They just put it on. They say it feels good to wear it. I don't know if it's a psychological thing in which they see what we do, and people are inspired. People are inspired by us and what we do in Detroit, Kalamazoo. They see me taking business trips. Every time I take a trip, it's never fun. It is fun because it's what I love to do, and it's something that I'm passionate about. But it's always business, and they're inspired by it.
Wow. So how can young people get involved as interns with your brand?
Okay, well, that's very hard. It's very hard because I believe that, to be a part of a company, you have to have, you have to live the lifestyle, you know. And I have to see something in you that, you know, maybe my CEO seen in me for you to be a part of Raw Impact. It's not easy. It's not easy. You have to have a mindset, you know. You have to think outside of the box. You have to be persistent. You have to have drive. You know, I believe that every great person has something that happened in their life that, you know, pushes them to be great.
Wow. Well, Leslie, unfortunately we're out of time, but I would like to thank you for being here today. For more information, visit their Instagram page at Raw Impact. That's it for today's Web Exclusive. I'm your host, Sydney B. Have a great week. So let me just sit here and have a regular conversation.